It's Tuesday. I'm hanging out with my man Justin. I'm talking X-Men. How you doing, Justin?
We are all up in the face of the camera right now, changing it up a little bit. Hey! I'm doing good, man. Hey, there it is. Yeah, man. Always happy for some Tuesdays. Got a little jealous there before backstage when you were showing off some of your books that technically didn't come out till tomorrow. So just saying, I'm, lucky man, lucky man. Change the subject. Oh, man.
We are here tonight talking about X-Men 127, and we got some awesome guests with us as usual. We got Chett, the ChettEyeKnight, our X-Man extraordinaire here.
Chett.
Good to see you guys once again on a really good issue.
Back again. Man. I can't believe you're not tired of us already.
Oh, no. You can dig into the well of X-Men and just find me at the bottom. Like, leave me here. Leave me here. Let me drown.
So awesome. And I know your boy Comics Kings was messaging me about this issue a ton, telling me how much he was like, oh, there's some stuff in here that I love seeing. This is great. I'm like,
yeah, well, he got to me last night with it, and I tried to put it to bed by putting the site greater.
I'm sure we'll hear about it. Yeah, we're going to hear about it tonight in the chat, no question. But I'm very excited, too, to have another friend and guest tonight. We got Jeffrey KOMIKHAN Henson.
Whoa.
Can you hear me?
Jeffrey.
Yes, man.
He's like, check 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, I should have done that earlier. Sorry.
What's going on, Jeffrey?
Not much, man. Good to see all you guys. How are you all doing?
This is Jeffrey's second time hanging on the show, and we really appreciate you coming and doing this for us, brother. And I will say, I kind of guilted you into this a little bit by sending you this issue like 8 months ago.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I was thinking about it. Every time I kept trying to respond to your text, I'd get distracted and set the phone down. And then it was like 2 days later, and I was like, oh, my goodness, I totally forgot.
So I had 2 copies of this cover. I loved it. Jeffrey's a big Storm fan, and he had just done issue 105 with us, if you go back into the archives a little bit. And I was like, we got to get Jeffrey back on for this. And I don't need to have 2 copies of this. Let's spread the love here a little bit. And it was perfect. It was a Storm cover that's just gorgeous. So I'm pumped that we got you to come and hang out tonight, man.
Yeah. Good.
Heck yeah.
Glad to be here.
Well, let's say hello to the chat before we dive into this exciting issue. We got Jackson Roy Kirk hanging out in the chat. He says the way Wolvie's shaking, he may have had some cocoa in his pants. And it's possible. They definitely shook the man a little bit. Definitely shook him. Magic Lasso says, "Is that why we're calling him Cocoa Drawers? Who's calling him Cocoa Drawers? Who's calling him that? Nobody."
If Brandon is in here tonight and he sees that word Cocoa, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
He's right there. He says, "Oh yeah, question. What is your favorite unpopular mutant, like guilty pleasure mutant?" Ooh, that's a great question. I'll let you guys think, unless you know an answer like right off the bat. You're like, I will say that there's a ton to pick from for sure. I've been enjoying lately Kid Omega a ton. I think he's been very entertaining in the Hickman run, especially of late through X-Force. Some great stuff going on for him. Back when I was younger, I don't know. That is a tricky question. Jeffrey, do you have an unpopular mutant that you like?
I was trying to think of what unpopular really is, because I would say for years it would be like Beta Ray Bill, but I'm not sure if he's still really all that unpopular.
No, he's not a mutant. He's not a mutant either.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, then I don't know. That's probably
so tricky. It's so tricky.
I would say Armor. I've been liking Armor lately, and it's not that's not really a guilty pleasure, but I've liked her since the new releases of Hickman and what they're doing with her, and I want to know more about her. And I know there's not a lot of details other than some of the series that she showed up on. So I would like more elaboration on her.
Sure. Jackson Kirk says Boom Boom. He likes Boom Boom.
That's what I was
cool too.
Boom Boom.
I like Boom Boom.
I love Boom Boom. Back in the day, like when she was in the New Mutants books, she was excited. She was really exciting. She was just ready to blow anything up. And these days, she seems to be a little bit more the same party animal. So I always think Boom Boom. If I had to say an unpopular but popular from back in the day, I would go Long Shot.
Long Shot, nice one. Yeah, I mean, I know that like back in the day, nobody liked Kitty Pryde. I always liked Shadowcat. Her Shadowcat persona, I was always a big big
I
fan
was on the not so Kitty Pryde bandwagon.
A lot of people didn't like her, and I always kind of thought she was fun, but I always wanted like more kids in the mansion. When they all became like adults and it was like no kids in the mansion, I didn't like it as much.
I was hoping she would leave every other issue. Now she's like so vital, you can't do without her.
No, you can't get away from her. And we can't get away from Jennifer from Comic Books Will Break Your Heart.
She's going to be my guest this Saturday, John.
I'm so sorry about that. You're going to have to suffer through that. It's going to be painful.
Jennifer, you hear this? No.
Painful for you.
We love Jennifer.
TJ's here, and his first comment is hearts to Jeffrey.
TJ, there it is. Good to see you, TJ.
Good to see you too, TJ. Thanks for coming, man. Love and respect. And then we got Eric from Azores Tiger. What is
Fine Ticks?
Tigre.
Warm cocoa. There it is. Let's see here. Quentin Quire. See, there it is. There's Kid Omega digging it.
Nice.
Dupe. Unpopular Mutant is Dazzler. Back in the day, nobody liked Dazzler. Now it's obviously a hot book, but definitely agree.
That it is.
See, look, she's already apologizing. So you know it's just going to be a whole night of Rom V, so you better buckle up for that. I'm just telling you.
A lot of Swamp Thing talk.
Hey, I got issue number 1 of Swamp Thing. I was pretty stoked about that.
Nice. The new run, the current one?
No, the first one. Not House of Secrets, but like the first
one. It's Swamp Thing number 1. That's a good book, man.
That is a good one to have.
Pretty good.
Yep.
More like Constantine.
Alec Holland.
Yeah. The saga. I don't know if I was going to say the saga, but I can't remember if it's the saga or not. But yeah.
It's right before the saga of the Swamp Thing. Yeah. Yep. That's a good stuff.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, we like to start off each show with a quick synopsis of how we felt about the book, quick grade of what we would give the book. Now, I'm excited to hear from Jeffrey at the end because I know he has not really read anything preceding or following this. So he's really viewing this in the standalone.
I think really like probably like issues like maybe 80 to 310 are the ones that I've seriously read. And then I read House of X, Powers of X, and then the 2 that we read for your show. And that's really about it.
Nice.
So I don't have a serious X-Men background at all.
But who cares? That's the fun of it, man. Let's see how you felt about it. But let's start with Justin. Justin, what were your initial thoughts on this issue?
So I really like this issue. Love the artwork. Love the I feel like there's a lot behind the characters in this one where we learn about. Obviously we'll get into the details, but I just feel like we learn a lot about the certain characters, how they're developing. I wish that there was a little bit more action, I guess, but I'm not mad about it, though. I'm not mad about it. It is a set, it is still setting up. It's still a chase. We do learn a lot about Proteus and going on with that. So, So, I mean, if I had a grade, I think I'm going to put it like a 9.0. I think it's a fair assessment. I'm kind of in the middle of things. I know Chett's probably not happy.
Chett's always on the show saying 9.8 all day, white pages.
No.
Justin and I take shots for sure.
I was going to say, last time Chett was with us, I overgraded Chett. So
it does happen.
Remember, just a reminder of that. But I'll pass it to Chett.
Yeah. What do you think, Chett?
The whole story, first of all, I mean, I think it's a nice wrap because the first time we hear anything Proteus, it's from 104.
Yeah.
And, then they give us the whole lull in between. Then we start getting a little bit of scrapes and scraps here. Angus McWhirter's dead. And now we've come all the way to this. I dig this book, man. I always thought this book was like a good prelude to such a great ending of a story. So I'm going to go with... I'm going to say a 9.4 on this one. Okay.
You can't give me crap, man. You're only 4 more than me.
Crowd wants to know I have a 9.8 signed double that did not arrive yet. So I promise I'll show it to you when it arrives.
Oh, Comic Books NYC is here. He's like, yo, it's Jeffrey still eating that sub. He's still eating his sub. Okay. That's funny. So Jeffrey, what are your thoughts? If you I just jumped in and read this one issue, how would you grade this one? What were your thoughts?
So it's cool. Like, should I talk about it or should I wait till we talk about certain things?
Just overview how you felt about it, why you felt a certain way.
I know you were talking about there wasn't enough action in it. I thought it actually started off really good with action and kept it up throughout the whole thing. From my perspective is what I thought.
Sure.
Because it starts right out with that first scene where they're like with Proteus and everything. And then another thing that I thought it did, like, as a person, obviously, from my perspective, I've always felt like they don't do that great of a job at making Cyclops look like a leader or a very strong person. And I feel like this issue really made him feel, you could really see the leadership in him. And even though he kind of got knocked out kind of weakly at the very beginning, he came through and he kind of got I feel like, like this issue is basically revolved around him getting the team mentally prepared for the fight that they were going to go and do.
You tell him, Jeff.
Yeah, we've had a lot of discussions.
That grade. He hasn't graded yet. Let's hear the grade.
I was going to give it like a solid B+. So, I mean, I don't know what you would say.
8.5, 9.0, somewhere there.
8.5 at least. 8.5, 8-ish.
Yeah, that's definitely right around where I am, 8.5, 9.0, because it starts so strong. The beginning of this issue is fire. And then it does like hit the brakes really hard to do some cruddy Marvel shenanigans that feels like executives making decisions for what Chris is trying to do. And that derailed it a little for me. But then, like Jeffrey's saying, I think it got back on track. And there's definitely some good, interesting Cyclops stuff going on in here, because we've debated a bunch about how we feel about Cyclops, because it's a love-hate thing in the comic book world, how you view Cyclops. And if you're comics kings, it's not so black and white. It's pretty much just this. It's just one. And he got some joy out of this for sure. I want to say hi to Carlito Classico, who jumped in and said, Jeffrey, team punch Cyclops in the gut. Well, stick around, Carlito. You might get your wish. You just might get your wish. So yeah, I would say I'm in that 8.5-9.0 range. I can't quite decide, because there are bits that are like 9.8 quality, and then it just 8.0 quality comes in, and I'm like, well, get out of here. So
that's fair. We're
gonna jump into the slideshow here, show some scenes, show some parts of the book that we really loved. And first off is this cover, and I will say this is legitimately one of my 10 favorite X-Men covers. Period. I love the background with the purples and the pinks. I think it's phenomenal. Of course, Storm looks amazing, laid out, doing her like, oh my gosh, this monster's coming for me. And then the design of Proteus, the line work of his like, just like hard to see, just out of, just visible in the like negative space. And then the mutants that are behind her on the team are in green. It's such a great, it's almost like a Joker cover with this color work going on here. So this is an A+ cover for me. I'm all about it.
Yep. I'm with you there, John. This is, I always say, if a cover, I always try to picture if I was walking, when this book first came out on the shelves, if I was a little kid walking by it and I saw it for the first time, like, would this intrigue me to want to open it up? And this absolutely does. I mean, it really stands out, even from across the room. This is one of those books that you just know what it is, just from recognizing it. Obviously, the bright pinks in the background and just overall just well designed. So yeah, definitely a top book for me too for covers.
Totally. Hello to Comic Journey. What's up? He said, "Shooter is stifling Claremont."
I'm sorry. Justin said, if I was a kid at the time this came out, I was.
Right?
So, yeah, this cover was this, and the next cover, 128, were like, I think John Byrne has something similar to the Kirby dots of his own. If you see it like right under the deadliest mutant alive, you see that he does that better than anybody.
That's sort of like fun cosmic look almost.
Yeah, it's not like the Kirby stuff, but I think it's his own version of him, and I love him to death.
Totally. What's up? Bobby's here. What is up, Bobby?
Fishing.
Jeffrey, how do you feel about the cover, man? What do you think?
Oh, hey, it's I think it's amazing. It's good. I honestly, I'm not sure I could put it in like my top 10 like X-Men covers. There's a lot of really good ones, but truly, it's definitely it would be up towards the top. Yeah,
I think it's just really underrated. That's probably why I love it so much.
I mean, like if you're looking at it,
nobody here talks about this cover.
It's just like Justin was saying. Like if you look at this book from across the room, it's going to be the one that catches your eye. It's going to pop out, which is what it's meant to do. And it's you walk over to it, and it you see all the X-Men on the cover of it. And Storm, why would you not want to open that and check it out?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Comics King says, "Station guys, but I'm here driving." Good, perfect. You can just listen, and we can continue on with this show, Brandon. So let's go here. We start right where we left off in the last issue. The X-Men kind of caught up. They split up in groups, and 3 of them caught up with Proteus. Proteus looking for a human form to take in and absorb again. And this time he's narrowed his sights down on Storm because of the amazing amount of power that she's giving off trying to stop him. Love this splash page right at the beginning. Pow.
Yeah, it's literally the next step of where we left off. The fact that you even see them strapped down for, Wolverine still strapped down to the floor with Nightcrawler under him. I really think that's awesome.
Right.
That's a beautiful page.
The blues, the purples. Yeah. And look, he can draw feet and hands better in silhouette than many artists can just draw them, period. Like it just like that the Proteus negative space is so creepy cool.
Yeah.
Very.
Hey, I've been there, Kyle.
Yeah.
Got lost in those times.
He's talking about Proteus, right?
I figured. That was my assumption. I love the artwork in this next bit when they're fighting. So we have Storm and Proteus going head to head. She's trying to use her abilities to cause a little hurricane on him. He's using his abilities to invert reality and flip her over and spin the world around her. And Wolverine and Nightcrawler just have to watch.
Yep.
Well, they choose to, I guess, because they know that they're going to get they can't handle it. I guess
it could be beating the dead horse, but the art. I mean, everything's so psychedelic. I mean, he's walking sideways in one panel while she's laying flat, parallel to the earth. It's just so it's psychedelic and freaky and great to look at overall. Him flipping reality,
right?
Yeah,
there's several panels in this issue where things are upside down, inverted in some way, including that Storm one at the bottom where she's flipped over onto her back as she was trying to fly away.
Yes.
Justin, do you have any thoughts on this quick little battle with Storm?
Well, the thing that stands out to me most here is the GIF. I think you did a really good job, John. Nice job there. Well done on the touch up for the GIF.
I knew you expect me to bring the GIF game.
The GIF game is strong.
I try to always bring the GIF game for you, brother.
I appreciate it. I'm with these guys. What you guys are all saying, man, this is really cool stuff. It ties right into putting you right in the middle of the scene, right in the middle of the battle. And it's hard to anything's possible with his abilities. So that's what's really must have been really fun for them to, the creative team to be able to really draw this out and create what they wanted to create, because they could just make up whatever they wanted and it would work. Yeah.
Comic Journey says John Byrne not praised enough, and his favorite Byrne cover is a Hulk versus Wolverine wraparound cover that's a reprint of 180-181. And I will tell you legitimately, I bought that off of a spinner rack as a kid and read it till it fell apart. And then I told a story about it on my YouTube channel, and I got sent 2 copies of that book as gifts because of course they're not super valuable or anything. But I was I'm ecstatic. I don't need a Hulk 181. I needed that book. That book means way more to me. And I totally agree.
It's very thoughtful.
Great comment. Yes, incredibly thoughtful. And of course, Team Moira is where he's at. Well, let's continue along here, because I know that Justin's very excited. Whenever Moira's got a gun, and she's got a gun again here.
Moira's got a gun.
Moira to the rescue, popping caps to protect Storm from her son. And apparently, though, she's got Maggie's drawers because she can't shoot. She fires 5 times, can't hit him. What is going on?
She loves her son.
You think it's emotion that's holding her back?
It's got to be, man. Come on. She's been carrying guns since... What is she?
Since 96. Since 96. She's been carrying guns since 96.
Got guns in libraries and sandboxes. She's got a gun now. She can't shoot the one guy, but he hears bullet and he's like, "Oh no!" So she's got to do better than that.
Yeah, I love the great line work too here, and I love the scope with like the grid layout. That's so fun. It's like Star Wars all the way for me. So what did you think about this, Jeffrey? Pulling a rifle out and trying to mow him down.
Well, that's probably what I would have done in the situation. Like, what else do you do? What else do you do? I don't know. Like, she knows, I think, that his weakness is like metal. So, like, right, you got a metal bullet. Boom.
Yeah.
Take him out from a distance because you can't get close to him. Yeah,
right.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Velma, don't shoot that. That's hilarious. And then, Cyclops tries to stop her. He tries to grab the gun, and yes, there's the gut punch.
Brandon will be chiming in any second.
There he is.
He is. Yep. Cyclops.
Oh no, he can't. He's
gets
driving.
knocked out, laid out by Moira right here with the gut punch, and then she flips him over kung fu style. Taking him down.
But then, the rock falls on his head.
Then he hits
him out. Like, worst of all is she knocked him to the ground, and then it's like in one of those movie scenes where the rock just falls down afterwards and takes him out. So
I find that interesting because we all know how Cyclops' powers manifested themselves, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I figure the hit against the rock is somewhat reminiscent of how his powers began anyway.
He's flashing back.
Maybe.
While he's laying prone on the ground after being beat up by Velma.
Moira, stop it.
Sorry, I'm on the rug that your Lasso says. Maybe I forgot about calling it. Hey.
Up one.
Cyclops getting laid out. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So then Moira checks on him, and then I sort of reorganized the order of things here because basically all of a sudden everybody goes on a road trip, right? Yeah. Her son Proteus jumps into his Jeep, takes off. She jumps in her Jeep, takes off. Then he finds this woman on the side of the road, kills her, takes her body, dumps his old body, takes her car, and the road trip continues. Everybody goes for a ride.
One thing to point out here, speculation, this is the first appearance of Jenny Banks. Just saying. Jenny Banks.
I'm going to write that down.
Yep.
I did not put that in the slideshow.
Come on, John. Why do you think this book's worth so much?
Oh, my gosh. Ooh, Journey saying he bought that book similarly in a candy store. Nice. The only comic of that story that he would ever want. Beat It to Hell. There you go. That's how it was when you were a kid. You're reading that. It's the only way I was ever going to read 180 and 181 as a kid. So any comments here, guys, on the rampage of Proteus and the mom in pursuit?
Well, we know she's on a mission to try and stop him, but she's proven that she couldn't do it once before, and then Cyclops got in the way. Maybe she'll be successful the next time. What? I mean, Proteus is still on the loose. He's looking for bodies. He's finding his bodies. And the next time we see him, at least we get a little gap because now Cyclops has got to recover. And then he gets to see his team. So when he sees his team, there's a whole lot more to come.
Absolutely.
I love that pink panel in the dead center on the bottom, like how evil he's looking there with the eyes. I think that is so badass. Very cool.
Yeah. Because that's the only time the background gets really dark and creepy because all the others have a pretty normal rainy or sunshiny background. And all of a sudden, when he gets close to her and she's like, oh, you're a policeman. You've come to hell. Oh, crap.
Yep.
And then she's dead. What about you, Jeffrey? How are you feeling about Proteus at this point?
Well, I still haven't realized. This is where I'm starting to kind of figure out a little bit about him. Like, I didn't at first when I saw the police officer, I was like, "Who the heck is that guy?" I didn't realize that was Proteus at first until I realized that he takes over the bodies and all that. Because at first he's just that like bright light looking figure or whatever. Yep. And then this is the part where they start talking about like why he's there. This is where Moira was like, "Oh yeah, I know where he's headed." So that kind of like tells you. This is where I figured out that there was a point because they're in Scotland. Something like that right now. Yep. So this is kind of where you realize that there's a point to them being in Scotland and not where they, somewhere else. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Totally. Flashpoint is here. What is up? How you doing, Flashpoint?
Mikey Mike.
Thanks for coming by, brother. So yeah, the road trip goes off, and the team, has a little crisis of leadership in their little regrouping moment. Storm's getting bandaged up by, it looks like, Polaris. You got everybody sitting around having a little snacky, it looks like, breaking out the rations. Wolverine's having a little coffee with the hands. He's got the shakes. Cyclops is the only one legitimately injured beyond Storm, and he seems to be pretty cool about it right here. And then, of course, there's Phoenix when you need it. Where's Phoenix when you needed her? Well, here she is. She's just rolling it.
This is the best part of this book.
This next sequence.
Oh, hell yeah.
I agree.
Look at Wolverine.
For years.
Shaking like a frail.
Hey, let's show a little respect to the ghost.
Hilarious. Oh my gosh, he's always calling women frails, and there he is. Yeah, shaking like a frail. There you go. So yeah, we need some leadership, and then I really don't think this is what I had in mind when I said we need some leadership. he pushes Nightcrawler over, throws coffee in Wolverine's face, and just starts crap talking him right there.
But see, the thing about leadership is knowing how to use it to get what out of the people that you need. So he knew that he had to go a certain way to get Wolverine to get pissed off enough to forget about everything else. And this is how he had to bring it out of him and Nightcrawler and Storm at the end. So I thought that was pretty good. I mean, they even threw in a reason why Jean Grey's not jumping in, because he simply linked telepathically that this is what he was going to do. So I thought, this for me, this is one of the shining moments that I've seen from Cyclops. I thought.
Nice. I do like Jean saying, stay where you are, Peter. Cyclops dealt this hand, let him play it out. She's just like, it's all good. I can stop this whenever I want, but I'll let the boys have their little fight.
I thought this part was so well written. You got everybody getting involved, and Cyclops pushing them all the hell back, mind your business.
Yeah,
and I'll take care of it the way I see fit. And he does Wolverine. He pushes the right buttons on Wolverine. All right, so I mean, this was really well put together, and as far as accomplishing anything, it worked completely.
Agreed.
So, Brandon, I hope you're listening. You got to give Cyclops an A+ for leadership.
Lasso says he likes the way they draw the emblem of Phoenix on in this panel, higher and smaller, so that it's not covering her costume.
Right.
There you go. The fight continues, of course, and Wolverine gets shot from behind by a ricochet, which is amazing, and then he gets full taekwondo flipped right at Nightcrawler, who has to bamf out of the way. This is just bonkers here.
Yeah, I like the reflection off of Colossus. It's a good, nice little trick there. Wolverine did not see coming.
Definitely.
I think the best part of this is that it just keeps going and going, and Wolverine keeps getting madder and madder and madder. And then that's when Cyclops is like, well, maybe now I need to stop. But it's still going. What he does to Nightcrawler, and then Storm opens her mouth and starts getting all frizzy. So it gets great.
What's up, Rod? Just a Rican's here.
It was just a well-executed scene, I thought. And
it's like when you anger your little brother, and then it's like, okay, at some point I got to stop him. I got to calm him down. He's going to destroy the house and start getting weapons.
Start getting weapons.
Oh, Brandon says there's no leadership when you have to manipulate your own team.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know. Coaches have to manipulate the team to get them to play the way they want.
I'm sorry. Say that again. Say that again. Please.
A good coach knows how to manipulate the players on the team to bring them to play the best that they can.
Now,
if it's you don't want it
to Brandon's theory and then throw it in the ocean,
right? I mean, watch Ted Lasso. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm a Ted Lasso fan. Yeah, so I do think that there's an element to that. It depends on how far you take trickery before they're like, okay, just stop tricking me. Just talk to me like a human being. But yeah, I get what you're saying. If he was a better leader on the battlefront, maybe they would have won a few. Oh, okay, come on now. Now you're just talking crazy. Drive, buddy. Hands on the wheel.
Hands on the wheel.
I was wondering about this. There's no chance he could flip Wolverine around. I thought for sure Wolverine would just like at least stab him once in this, like unless he's trying to hold back. Maybe he's trying to hold back.
Well, see, I had that whole thing because at the end of it, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of it. Maybe I'll wait till the next panel.
No, go ahead.
At the end of it, like Wolverine, he's like, okay, Wolverine, I was just messing with you guys to get you riled up. Wolverine's like, oh, I'm still pissed. And that was kind of the end of it. I felt like Wolverine should have at least smacked him or something once.
Yeah, get a shot in.
Yeah, at least got a shot in or something at the end.
Nah, this is effective.
Yeah, like, all right, whatever.
Show some blood or something,
Yeah.
And as far as him being able to flip Wolverine, I think, he's using his own momentum against him, no?
Yeah, he blasted him, so he was already like falling towards him. And then he just pulled him, flipped him, and pushed him over with his foot. I don't know. I would think he could pull that off. And so now we get Storm to the rescue. I think this is where you guys were saying maybe he needs to. I like how this might be one of my favorite panels of Storm, period, where she's just like, boys. It's like when mom gets mad after you've been fighting with your brother for a little while. She's like, enough.
Yep.
I do not know what you've turned against why you've turned against your friend Cyclops, but I will not stand by and see them hurt by anyone. Just like, you boys better quit, or I'm going to come around and slap you.
I need this as a poster. This is a poster.
This is like the second time in this book where they basically said, like, okay, Storm's like the freaking most powerful one of us, because in like the first page or second page, when Wolverine and Nightcrawler aren't going to fight her, they're like, oh, Storm can't handle it. No way we can. You know what I mean? So, like, this is like kind of not a defining thing, but there's twice in one issue that they've stated, that Storm is definitely very powerful.
Well, she's Omega these days, so.
Yep. Yeah, King saying, I do like this page. She went full mom, right? There you go. And fierce, just fierce. But it didn't work because now Cyclops is like, okay, now I got to fight her. I'm going to blast her out of the skies here, knock her down. And I'm like, okay, this is when I was like, okay, seriously, stop escalating, Cyclops.
Yeah.
He says it too. I better quit while I'm ahead.
Oh my God. And then of course he's got to be like, Pax, people, peace. I surrender. And then in Wolverine's response, no way, Summers, you ain't getting off that easy. Oh my gosh.
And I'm pretty sure John and the Storm aficionados are digging that pose.
Well, it's all good. It's all working.
It looks like an invite, doesn't it?
She's just relaxing. I do think my only issue with this whole sequence is it seems like everybody got really cool with this really fast.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, the look on Storm's face of, oh my gosh, this is the greatest leadership moment I've ever seen. Right?
Yeah, it happens quick.
Did you read what Storm says after Wolverine says, you ain't getting off that easy?
Yeah, she says, for once, Cyclops, my anger matches Wolverine's. If Proteus is so important, why did you stage this insane battle? And he's like, it's a danger room session. We're just practicing.
Yep.
And that's basically it, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. This is the reason why Storm ends up as a leader. Well, there you go. I think there's several reasons. I'd be willing to say several. Absolutely. Let's see. And then, now they're like, okay, we should go after Proteus. I was like, well, you did give him a real head start.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like 5 hours later.
You're going to have a little trickier time. You could have just stayed hot on his tail. I think that would have been a little easier. Send somebody who can fly. You got like 2 of them. Somebody can fly after him, right?
3 of them with Lorna and Banshee. Well, Banshee can't fly anymore. All he can do is skip.
Yeah. Get in and take a Jeep. We got extras.
Plenty of Jeeps. Yep.
So let's start. While that was going on, in I believe it's Edinburgh, they have Moira going to her ex-husband, or actually technically current still husband, because he doesn't believe in divorce, I believe.
Yeah.
She goes to him because she believes her son is going to go to try to talk to her husband. And they have, of course, a bit of a spat, a bit of an argument. And, when Moira has an argument, her go-to move is to pull a gun on somebody. So there she goes. She's got a pistol and she's going to use it.
Yep.
She's
Yep.
just like 96.
That's the last time she sees Joe.
It's fair. It is fair. I just want to, Comics Kings, I just want to point out Polaris is in this book. Well, we appreciate you doing that, Brandon, because I would have missed it.
Nice job, Brandon.
And I do agree that panel of Jean talking, the hair, it's all working. It's all working. So what did you think about this reveal, Jeffrey? We got all of a sudden now Dad in the mix.
Yeah, so this is where you learn that this is her husband, and she's been married to him for 20 years. Hasn't seen him in 20 years.
Yeah.
Is what it says. But he brings up the fact that they don't want a divorce because he's running for politician, and he said a divorce would look bad as for someone running for a politician. And then she's like, whatever. She like, the reason I'm here is because you have a son. I never told you have a son that we had 20 years ago, and I never told you about him. And he's coming to kill you. And this guy's like, yeah, whatever. And then she pulls out the gun, and then he got her to leave. So as soon as he left, he was on the phone trying to call somebody. I'm like, he didn't have no time. But seriously, like, I mean, how you try to come up on it? Oh yeah, you got a son you never knew about. And he's coming to kill you. Man, what a day.
And I'm usually more worried about Moira when she's pulling a gun on you. Like, that's where you got to put your current focus.
God.
The woman in front of you with the Saturday Night Special.
What's up,
Yeah,
Rod?
Jeffrey's here, man.
I
I've locked up our son for 20 years, and I'm still a better parent than both of them.
I do find it a little weird that like how he just like was saying how he refused to divorce her because it would, ruin his or mess up, his look and whatever. But wouldn't it be weird that like if they've never actually been together for 20 years, that people would be like, "Where's your lovely wife?" Like, for the last 12 Christmas parties, you haven't,
Yeah.
we don't have any photos of you together. You keep using the same photo from 20 years ago. Like what? Like
She's busy taking care of our locked up son on a crazy island somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a
So
little.
the last pictures of her and her husband is probably the wedding
Yeah.
in black and white photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing Moira, it was a shotgun wedding.
Yeah.
Why is Moira running around with a gun? This is the ongoing joke journey. She's always packing heat. You don't know.
If she doesn't have a gun on her, she knows where the armor is in the house. Always.
Yeah. Yep. Carlito says, I'd like to point out how great it is to have Jeffrey giving comic commentary. Yes, right?
Hell yeah.
Happy to do that.
Yeah.
What about you, Justin? Any thoughts on this family?
I mean, obviously the guy's a jerk. I think that Moira could have done better on even kicking him out of her life altogether. I know she like ran away for the 20 years, but like,
Right.
I feel like she's a strong, independent woman that would have just gone through that divorce regardless of him being like, oh, I need you to have me look good or whatever. Like I would have just expected, she would have just said, well, too bad, you're a jerk and I'm out.
Them's the breaks.
Yeah.
So this family drama goes on and gets a little bit more intense when she leaves, doesn't pull the trigger, but then Dad answers the phone and creepy little blonde girl is there to now suck his soul out. And I do love that panel on the top right, the yellow and the pink and the purple and the whole thing is just buck wild cool.
Yep. That is cool.
So, any thoughts on this one, Chett, as far as the death of Dad?
Yeah, we know he possessed little Annie, and you can see him talking to the police. This is Joe McTaggart. I'd like to speak to the chief. That's why he's surprised by this, and obviously those are his last moments. And the next time we see that form, it's not a good thing. So
Right.
I think that the build-up in this part is really good before we get to see the X-Men and what happens next. And Jean Grey scanning for him everywhere and then gets attacked psychically and so forth. But we'll get to that. But other than that, I think this is good build-up to what's coming.
Yep.
Justin, any thoughts on the because we get a little bit more of the power of Proteus here?
Yes.
Yeah, no. I mean, I echo what Chett's saying here in terms of how it's setting up here. And did you call her Annie, by the way?
I'm sorry. What did I? She looks like
Annie.
Little Orphan Annie. No.
Hey, this is Jenny Banks' first appearance. All right, we gotta.
Yeah, I know.
We have to really highlight that.
Annie.
I'm hoping they do a side, series at some point where they really define Jenny Banks' life and what was before Proteus.
I love the comments here. Yeah, this gun is now a snake.
Hey,
Moira had a gun. Moira does not have a gun anymore.
I would think Moira would have a backup gun though.
And then this was great from Jackson Roy Kirk. Moira said, "I had a son, but that's a girl." Jeffrey, how about you? What do you think of Proteus in action here? We get a little bit more action from him than he had against Storm.
Yeah. I don't know. This panel was just kind of explaining, I feel like, what was going on a little bit. And then it basically just leads up to the point where you realize that Proteus had killed his dad and taken over his body. The next panels, I feel like, are a little more going on in them than this one, because that's what, I don't know, this one just seemed like a little developing to give you a little backstory of what happens before things hit the fan.
Yep. Exactly. But they had to get rid of one of her guns because it's just not really fair when she's packing the full arsenal.
I think he's just doing that to prove that it's not, because I don't think at first she thinks it's still her husband, right? So then at this point, when Proteus turns the gun into a snake, she realizes that it's not him and it's Proteus.
She definitely has the realization that this is just escalated, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Ricky is here. What's up, Ricky Markstad? Thanks, man.
Ricky.
So let's look at those next panels. First, we've got the X-Men figuring out, hey, how do we find this guy now? And then, floating Jean Grey, in a psychic sort of fugue state, and then she feels the energy that is Proteus being released
when he took over that body, which doesn't make it. This part confused me because she's like, "Oh, there's no way that I can pick him up on any scale or anything." Then, like the next panel, she's like, he killed somebody. I don't know, but yeah.
So she's clearly trying to connect, and I've got some of these a little bit out of order just so that we could kind of like follow the progression a little easier for the audience that maybe hasn't read these issues. But it is hard to follow how they're tracking him, because I know that Justin, you mentioned the idea that they couldn't track, or maybe it was Jeffrey, that they couldn't track Moira because she's not a mutant.
Right.
But we know now, or at least in retconning,
that
she is a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to overlook a little bit of that retconning, I'm sure.
I guess so.
Just kind of like,
I guess so.
Cerebro was not working that day.
I was legit trying to think of like how it really would have worked out or not worked out. I thought maybe like,
unless this is one of the timelines that she saw that didn't end up working out and ends up getting wiped out for a new one or something.
Or how about this? If Xavier and her, if she's already told Xavier everything at this point, maybe he set up Cerebro so that it couldn't find her.
Well, see, at first
he designed it so that it wouldn't track her, so that people would not know that she's a mutant.
At first, I didn't know who
that deep with it if you want.
I didn't know who Proteus was, and then when I found out it was her son, I was thinking maybe it was her and Xavier's son, until I found out it was this other dude. So, it's things these days are a little different than they were back in the day. So, you definitely
and I think that they've talked a little bit about the timeline of her meeting Xavier, then leaving Xavier, meeting McTaggart, then having Proteus, then disappearing on Muir Island for a stretch. Then 96 happens, and she shows up on the mansion with her machine gun and her maid's uniform, and then later goes back to Muir, and now here we are. Am I good on that, Chett?
Yeah, you are. It's ringing in my head because I've read those books religiously like 4 times. The Powers in House of X, and the book where she reveals everything is just like utterly mind-blowing. I just got it back in the 9.8, by the way. I'll show it to you guys at the end.
I just got the hardcover of Hoxpox just so that I can read it again, because I like to. That's a story that I'm going to read a ton.
it was really a good, I guess, a good revival of something, you know, that started off so hot and then just fell flat over the years. And honestly, I got to say that alone could be considered the New Age Bibles of X-Men. For me, I would say those are the grails.
Yeah,
totally fair. I wanted to highlight, is this the Moira's first appearance, husband's first appearance? Yeah. Spec alert. Everybody get this book.
There you go, Journey.
Buy it. It's the next $100,000 book.
It's her and Jenny Banks. I'm telling you. Two first appearances.
Why levitate? What is levitating off the ground? Her sash is touching the ground, but her body isn't, right? She's just showing off.
No, she's defeated.
Right. Moira McTaggart.
I'm sorry.
There's the mother of one of the
background changing into her uniform.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's cool that they start flying to catch up with Proteus, and she's like full Justice League style. She's like, I'm just gonna make all of you guys fly, and just we're gonna go together. This is the first time I've seen that. Even Wolverine's like, what am I doing right now? This feels so uncomfortable.
What do I do with my hands?
He looks like a cat that you grab by the scruff of the neck and pick up. He's just like, oh, this is really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was nice of Storm to offer to help.
Right?
Yep. He's like, no, I got this. I'm about to eat a planet in a few issues. Don't worry about it.
Right? She just says, it goes to comic book community. Try not to think too hard. You'll go insane, like me. There you go. Like me.
I like that Lorna's still carrying somebody there, though.
What's that?
I like that Lorna's still carrying.
Yeah. Nobody. Well, that's because it's Havoc. Nobody wants to carry Havoc. They're like, you know what? Can you just take the guy in the weird black uniform with the like crazy metal things on it? So just take that guy. Take that guy.
The next part coming up is one of my favorites because, you know, Proteus is scared of metal, and it's just like, let's bring this surprise on him. And then
right.
And I love the panel where he's right in front of him and just walking towards him. We'll get to it.
Totally. So yeah, we get to the like bit where Proteus is attacking Moira, and the heroes are flying over Edinburgh, which I think is a really cool looking down on the city with the blue underneath. Wolverine looks like he's gotten the hang of it now. He's in full flight pose, and then like you were saying, they just sort of do the classic swan dive Colossus move, just drop him. Right there.
Yep. I love that move for him.
Yeah, I love it too, especially with him. This is like one of his grade A moves for me, is just dropping and being there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Perry's
here. What's up, Perry? Wolverine. Oh, here comes lunch.
What up, Perry?
So yeah, you were saying drops him in, and boom. Here we go. I think I love that we go from like super confident, we're just going to tear this guy up, to, okay, the universe is flipping now. We're flipping the universe now. I don't understand what's happening. Cyclops is shooting little hearts, and I don't understand what's happened to the universe.
I like your little layout here, John. It's nice. You got the panel going sideways with the gravity flipping Colossus. I
had a little fun with this one. So that panel is supposed to go long, and but the words, if you look at them, go straight across. But the world has been tilted so that Colossus is falling away. I love the design of that panel, and I tilted it a little more.
It totally reminded me of that scene in the Doctor Strange movie where like they're being chased and everything's just.
You know what I think is also cool? That, I mean, if you flip it, it's actually just the sidewalk. He's going across the sidewalk.
Right.
Everybody's clinging to the floor.
Yeah, I like the people in the bagibackground too, trying to grab on. It's like Titanic.
Absolutely. I got the wrong GIF. Sorry. Wrong GIF. But I do love.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Perry.
I was saying, I think if I'm correct, we're about to see some more beautiful Phoenix art and like facial art that John Byrne does so well. So we'll get to it, I'm sure.
Even that facial, even the panel at the bottom right, like the detail there, like how creepy he's looking there.
Yes,
it's super dark,
and you can see he's aging in terms of like the body's fading, starting to be used up.
Right.
So I think that was part of the plan in the art.
Yeah. I do like the butterflies, how Cyclops' power just like gets turned into nothing. It's a cool idea.
I said hearts. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're butterflies.
Remember with Doctor Strange and Thanos, he turned it into feathers.
Right.
Right. Similar. Yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, I did get a Thanos vibe from this. I don't know, Jeffrey. Did you pick up any Infinity Gauntlet vibes here?
No, not really, actually. But I mean, I'm not sure if I'm totally understanding the full, complexity of this character either. Just reading out of this book, I was kind of surprised that he put the fear into Wolverine like he did earlier in the book. So,
well, this is only the second issue with the character really being on the page. So right. you're not alone. This is exactly how kids reading the book would feel.
It's like a reality stone. It's like he has the power of the reality stone in a way.
Sharon, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Nice.
Thank you, Sharon. I will not be sharing that with anybody.
Yeah, no, we got to split that up between the four of us here, John. That's how that works. Yeah, we get $1.25.
You paid the shipping on my giveaway box that we're giving away on my birthday, so it's all happening now.
There you go.
I need $1 so Justin can help me produce music videos on like he does. Because, he's got the hottest video since like the Beatles came to the US.
Since the Beatles.
No, seriously, that was a really good video. And I was like,
was like his top 5 or whatever. That was amazing. Yeah,
Top 8. Chett messages me. He's like, I don't know how to do that. You got to tell me how to do that. He's like, that's an awesome video.
I don't even know how to do that.
It was Smalls, and I went.
I'm like, I'm not making a video to reply to this, but it's amazing. I'll hit the like button and I'll comment, but that's all you're getting out of me.
I'll take that, John.
I'm gonna try it.
You should. We'll work on it, Chett. We'll work on it.
Thank you, Justin. I appreciate the tutelage.
Ricky says he wants an X-Men movie with a Proteus villain. I would be down for that for sure.
I've been saying that for a long time. He'd be a great movie villain.
Yep, you could do so much with him.
Thank you, Sharon. We love you.
It'd be a good way to introduce Moira.
It would
get that history going.
So then, Jeffrey, were you able to as a person just reading this one issue, did you feel like they gave you enough to be able to follow what's going on here with this villain and the family?
Yeah, I do. Like, I felt like with the panels, they definitely used the panels that they had. Like you can see on these right here, there's definitely a lot of dialogue throughout this issue. So it was a fairly good amount to read, but I think within the walls that they're confined to, I think they did a pretty good job of getting across. But the thing is, you're left, like, it's hard to complain about certain things because you are like with that fight with the X-Men, with Cyclops riled them all up. Like we were talking about how it kind of just ends abruptly. Well, it probably ended abruptly because they needed another page to explain what was going on further within the story. So you do get things, you got to take and give, with things. But yeah, I think that they were able to do a fairly decent job at it.
Totally.
I think we've seen this before. Jeff's not always here, but you guys know that every time we read an X-Men book, they get to something, and then the next issue we get like the little backstory. In this issue where they're fighting each other and everything, we get that full dialogue on, so I guess that's our catch-up story for all of this, I think, because the next issue is pretty much nothing but action.
Right.
So I think they did a good enough job to condense what we did not know into this issue before we got to the nitty-gritty.
Totally. And still were able to keep it moving, which is the harder part. Like, there was enough action that kept this moving, which I think Jeffrey said that right at the beginning.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, then let's finish her off here with the end when Phoenix is about to get into this, but he pulls Moira in Proteus pulls Moira in as his hostage and basically just says, "Hey, I will absorb her next if you don't back off." And the team is like, "Wait, this is your husband?" Like, holy crap, the look on all their faces. You look at Banshee's face, and he's like, "What the heck?"
Like a puppy dog, and like, what happened? I thought she loved me.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's just bad.
That's the face I give when a book is sold out that just came out on Wednesday, and I'm like, what?
Yes.
The Banshee eyes. And then Jackson Roy Kirk,
it's worth $250 today.
Yeah.
Jackson Roy Kirk says Moira's first MCU scene: close up on a gun, camera pulls back to reveal a Velma-like woman, and she just starts shooting. But this is the end of the issue. This standoff, the stalemate, with the whole X-Men team there in the middle of Edinburgh, and Proteus holding them off with a threat. So, what did you think of the cliffhanger, gentlemen?
Yeah, this is dope. I love the artwork there. The panel of Jean, like her face, the eyes. I think Chett, you mentioned that this was coming up. Yeah, this is like so awesome. And yeah, like you said, the reactions of each of them. I mean, it's a perfect way to end an issue. I mean, if you're really trying to pull people into the next one, this is certainly the way to do it. Just to find out.
I think I love most about this the old X-Men, some of the the former X-Men. And the new X-Men all in that one panel. I don't know if it's right there, top left.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or top right on the screen. But I think that's a beautiful pick. I like that it ends that way because now we know who the players are and who's what's next or what's to be done next.
I like Carlito says, I love how Wolverine's face is like, yep, not surprised. He's the only one without a truly shocked expression. He's just like,
I think that look is more like, oh geez, do we really have to go after this guy again? Like I think he's still a little spooked.
Yeah. He's definitely in the back row, you notice. He's like, I'm gonna kind of ease my way.
Where did Wolverine go, guys?
Yeah. He's like, Nightcrawler, you go first. You go first.
You got
It's like, can you bamf me out of here? Yeah.
Oh man! Any last thoughts, gentlemen, on this story and this issue, on the dynamics and things that are going on here? Anybody?
I will
go. Yeah, Chett.
I think. Well, this is the last set of books that we get before we get to the Dark Phoenix saga, and I'm going to say this was a good set of action. This is a good action story overall. Yep. So, I mean, this is the last action we get before the Phoenix saga, and I gotta say, it was very well done. I like that it included Moira, some of her background. We're finally getting to know who she is after all these issues with her just coming in with a gun no matter where she is. But now she's more involved. I think this basically stamps her place into the X-Men history overall. They know her whole background. She's been with Banshee, Professor X. Now we know who her husband is, so we got a good full broad spectrum of who she is, and now we can move forward to whatever's in house and coming next.
Yep.
It did just dawn on me why she's obsessed with guns. Is like she's been dealing with Proteus for so long. She knows that, like, you know what, metal works. I'm gonna stick with what works.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say she was dealing with her husband for so long.
Well, obviously, there's that guy too.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeffrey? Any last thoughts you want to share on this issue?
No, I mean, I'm assuming that the next issue finishes up where this one takes place. So I think by now, if you've read any X-Men book, you probably, realize that most of them are a story arc, and you're not going to get one finished out within one issue. So,
right.
I mean, if you were a kid coming into that, maybe you'd be a little disappointed, but like, let's face it, kids don't always understand how things work. So, I think it was good.
The last standalone issue before this was 110. Trust me, I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as an issue of a story arc, I think it was good, and I'd be ready to read the next one,
Yeah, I want to add, too, that last week we had Otto from 3 Men in a Basement on as our guest, and I really he pointed out that these couple of issues here, as you said, Chett, that this is like the story arc. He pointed out that this is a really underrated set of books, that it doesn't get as much shine, especially because it's surrounded by iconic stories such as the Dark Phoenix saga, and even just some of those earlier ones. Like it really is kind of hidden. Between this and Arcade, I feel like all these are kind of like hidden compared to some of these other ones that have just got so much shine. So, I would recommend this to anybody. I think this was the series that I recommended to Alec, John, when I was first on the show with you and Alec, and we broke down 141, 142. And I was like, Alec was like, I haven't really read a lot of those other ones other than Dark Phoenix. I was like, dude, go back and read some of these other ones, because they are so much fun and really show what the team is all about and show the journey of how they got to where they are. So they are definitely sleepers just for the story if anybody hasn't read them.
Absolutely.
I think what you guys are going to show me next is the prices on these books, and I know I'm going to be very disappointed, because I think this book, I mean, it's good enough to be a high value book, I think. I mean, we got Proteus in there in the issue. What? When did he show up? 125.
125 is the first full. Yeah.
So I would think, like so many of those Dark Phoenix books, this would be a good series to have a good value to it. And I'm guessing a billion to one, a 9.8 is not nearly as much as I'd like it to be.
Absolutely. I think you're probably right. But real quickly, hello, Michael and Riley from the Downright Nerdy podcast. We appreciate you coming by. And Journey was joking that he liked it, that the most powerful telekinetic in the world is worried about a gun.
Yeah, right.
That's fair. That's fair. So speaking of the statistics, let's continue ourselves along here. And not a lot of facts and value in this book besides the second full appearance of Mutant X and some of the backstory filling in for Moira and her failed marriage to my misspelling of Joe McTaggart. This is the statistics. The 9.8 for this book goes for $200.
Wow, I would spend that.
Not my copy.
I would buy that now.
200. Yes. So hey, just as a note, this is not a lot of issues in this run that we've been reading sell for a 9.8 in that price.
Yeah.
And the 9.6 for $100. Also a steal.
That's sad. I think that's so sad.
That's crazy.
And let me tell you this, Chett, there's a 9.9 out there somewhere floating around. Feel the goodness.
What I would give to have that signed up. I don't have any 9.9 signed. I don't have a single 9.9.
It's a bonkers.
Any of you guys got 9.9s?
No.
All right, so I don't feel.
I got some 9.4s. I got a 9.0.
I got a 2.5. That's X-Men 1.
I'm not wrong with that either, as long as it's the book that it is. I got a 5.0. I'm not happy with that.
It's a hoxpox, but whatever.
But it is what it is. So we're like this. We're just sucking our thumbs over it. Everybody's like, that's only a 4 or 5.
I have
Rob
love
the book, right? It's all that matters. Rob
Liefeld. It is our lifeline.
It says that there are about 288 9.8s.
Wow.
400 9.6s and about 290 9.4s for this book.
What's the 9.4 price?
9.4 price is $75.
If I wanted this book, I would spend $75 for a 9.4.
It's a very fair price for a book it's a great book. And again, if Proteus the villain hits, this is going to be a key for sure.
Like, when was this book made? In the 70s?
79.
79.
Is it really? Wow.
Well,
seriously, for me, like, looking at a book of that age, like, if I was looking to buy one, I'd probably be looking at anything over an 8.0. Like, it's pretty good for something like me. And if according to these prices, you could still get like an 8.0 for like $60 or something like that. And that sounds like a pretty darn.
I'll tell you what. With these books, the raw copies are. I mean, there's a lot of nice looking raw copies all over the place of this book, and you can pretty much get them for $35, $40.
Yeah,
or even less.
He's heading out, but he says goodbye. Great seeing Jeffrey. We totally agree with you.
You too, Carlito. Later, bud.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonably priced issue, and there are a lot of high grade copies. I mean, you look at there's almost 900. Nearly 1,000 copies of 9.4 or better issues for this book. That's a ton. So they're out there in high grade for sure.
It's crazy. That book's going on 50 years old.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost as old as me. It's a little younger than me. But that is it. Don't speak. So that is it for the slideshow here. We will exit out of there. Deep dived into a little Proteus for this week. And next week on Justin's channel, we're going to be doing the finale. So make sure you're subscribed. I have everybody's stuff down below. We're going to get into the giveaways now. We're going to get into the trivia so that you can earn and get into some of the giveaways we're going to do. The trivia is based on last week's episode and the book that we read then and the show that we did with Otto from the Grotto over on Justin's channel. So if you're watching every week, you have a better chance to get in on this. We have pushed the giveaway date because we decided it would be better to do it on the final episode of the Omnibus Volume 1. So on June 22nd, the final episode, we're going to read issue 131, talk issue 131, and pull names and winners at the end. We might even ask trivia just for the she's and gees of it if we have time. But for the truth is, we're really just going to use the end of the show to pull names and give away that omnibus, volume 2.
Nice.
And I'm going to give away a mystery box, and ChettEye is going to give away a slab.
That's
so
right.
Those of you hanging in the chat, answering questions, getting on the overall and on the raffle lists, we appreciate you. And that is the giveaway date. You don't want to miss it, although we will still give your stuff to you even if you're not in the chat that night. But we would love to have you in the audience having a laugh with us.
Yeah.
So the way it works is we're going to ask a trivia question. You in the chat have to reply. The first 2 correct answers go on the overall scorecard, but the first answer gets a raffle ticket for the big 2 giveaways, Justin's omnibus and Chett's slab. So you want to make sure you're trying to be that first person to answer correctly. The second person to answer correctly still gets 1 point on the overall. Yep.
Sorry, Jeff. He's like, wait a second. Hang tight, Carlito. Don't go away yet, Carlito.
Wait, I heard giveaway.
It's true. It's true. And we also give points for the best comedic response. So just being funny can keep you in the running on the overall standings. Although at this point, I will say Magic Lasso kind of has it sewn up as far as the overall leaderboard, but Chett and Jackson Roy Kirk are in the running there as well. Although Chett's not going to win. He's not going to win his own slab. I'm just telling you. He's not going to win his own slab.
Yeah, Chett, you can't win your own slab.
No, that's gone. That's gone.
I can't have another.
It's already out of the collection. So you want me to go first, Justin? You want to go first? What do you want to do here?
Yeah, go ahead, John. You can kick it off.
So last week's issue, number 125, there were some very big moments, and among them, the team realizing that there's this sort of hugely powerful mutant on the loose, very dangerous mutant, and they had to strategize, and Cyclops had to sit them all down in it looked like a little pub and talk it out. Wolverine did not like that. He freaked out and destroyed some furniture. My question is, what piece of furniture did Wolverine destroy in anger? You can't answer, Chett. Can't answer. So I just need, he destroyed an ottoman.
Sounds like something I would do.
A futon. There was a bean bag in the corner, and that's what he destroyed. Was a
just let it rip. Yeah,
bean bag. He just lost it.
Yeah.
We could get some funny answers here. If we could.
Yeah. What did he destroy? What did he destroy? Comedy. It was not a piano. Funny though.
Yeah.
Xavier's chair. Xavier's chair.
That's not funny.
You don't rob. You don't rob a handy-capable person of their chair, man. That's just not cool. I mean, I know Wolverine can be a bit of a DB sometimes, but that's just not cool. So far, nobody has the answer. 9 people in the chat. Wow. Nobody knows what he destroyed. It's a piece of furniture. Take some shots. Take some guesses. Throw it in there. You could be in a raffle to win an omnibus or a slab.
Lasso hasn't answered yet.
Just start typing. Just start typing furniture. And
he's just smiling. He's just smiling.
Wow.
Lasso's like, I don't need to answer right away. I know I have time.
There it is. I'm sorry. Wait, somebody else can get another point by throwing it in, but there it is. It was a table, and Jackson Roy Kirk with the raffle ticket and 2 points on the overall.
Somebody else write that in there. Copy and paste his answer.
Copy and paste it. It all works. It all works. And there it was. Lasso coming in with the answer. Sorry, I'm not accepting desk. I'm not accepting desk. It was not a desk. It was definitely a table. It looked like a diner table, right? Definitely not desk worthy.
All right, so Roy Kirk was first, right?
So Roy Kirk was first, and Lasso was second. He destroyed his relationship with Cyclops. Journey, you're getting the comedy point on that one, I think.
Nice.
Destroyed his relationship with Cyclops. Destroyed the curtains. I thought you say, what is the sound? And it's cracked. All right. Justin, what's your question?
All right. My first question is, who were the first 2 people that the X-Men encountered when they arrived at Muir Island? There were two people on the floor when they first walked into to the location that they were all at initially, and there were who are those two? Who are those two people over on Muir Island? They were just rushing over there.
No, it was Scooby and Shaggy. Zoinks!
Oh man, can get a lot of good humor jokes here for sure. We're looking for two answers, guys. Two answers.
Tom and Jerry.
Abbott and Costello.
Oh, man.
Lasso's giving away a few different answers. He's trying to pick and choose. I don't see if there's Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
There they are.
Adam and Eve.
I saw Adam and Eve. Hey,
this
I
is
didn't
this
realize
is tough.
they were in the garden. Rick
is
and Morty.
That's a good one.
Nailed it.
This is tough because one of them is not necessarily a common character, or even a mutant.
I'm gonna flip back then and remind myself who it was.
Chett, you know, right? Don't answer, but
I do.
So I could see this being a little extra tricky because it's, some people have said one of the answers. Some people have said.
Okay, so you want the two people. Does it matter if they're living or dead?
No.
Okay.
It's just the two people on the floor.
Okay. So there you go. That is the only hint I'm giving.
That's a good hint. Yeah. That's
because I would have said two other people.
Okay.
Based on living or dead, but you're saying
sure.
Doesn't matter living or dead.
Right. Yeah, when they first walk into the door.
Stimpy. We got Pinky and the Brain. We got Beavis and we've got Butthead. And I think we've now maybe had our first correct answer.
Yes.
And I'm accepting this answer for sure. So Jackson Roy Kirk with 2 more points and a raffle ticket.
Nice.
And I think I'm probably going to accept this one as
well.
I'm accepting McSquirter.
It's only Chett that we don't allow incorrect spelling.
Yes, Chett has to have perfect spelling or he's eliminated.
It was bugging me how long it was taking them to answer that. I was starting to get this twitch.
I see you moving around. You're like, come on, guys.
Stan Lee and Hugh Hefner. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I can't. Bruce. I don't know who those people are. This is a Marvel show. We don't do Bruce and Clark. I don't know who those people are. Sound like really old guys.
Why did you say that name?
It was Martha. Yeah. I'm going to go with Pinky and the Brain and Comic Journey getting another comedy point on the overall for that one. I'm going to say my last question. My question is when the X-Men go out and hunt Proteus, Moira's ready. She's got guns, she's got equipment, and she has Jeeps. And my question is, well, we asked last time where'd they come from. We don't know. Depot. How many Jeeps does Moira have at the ready to go search out Proteus? Because she's ready to go. This is she is legitimately on high alert.
They were on full gas and everything. They were ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Gassed up, ready to go. I don't know who drove them there.
Can you highlight what Roy Kirk says there in quotes? That's for
Musty Night.
Thanks. The things I'll never be able to forget.
Correct answer from Jackson Roy Kirk, who is running the board tonight.
On fire. It's killing Chett.
And then we've got Lasso, who's coming in second most of the night. More than they had in Jurassic Park.
That's a lot.
Correct comedy answer from Carlito. So you're getting the comedy point there, Carlito, nailing it. Nice. All right, so Justin, final question of the night.
Okay, final question. Is another two-part answer. I realized the second one. Well, I'm just going to ask it. Just write it out however you see fit. Name the 2 weaknesses that are mentioned for Proteus from last episode. Moira said that that Proteus specifically has 2 weaknesses. Name the 2. We're looking for 2 answers here. word it however you think sees fit.
How many Jeeps can she hide in that trench coat? More like guns.
She has a lot of guns.
I was gonna say, she's got she's packing heat everywhere in there.
Yeah. This one might be tricky.
It's just been too long, Jeffrey, and it's been awesome hanging out with you, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And if you have missed it, Jeffrey appeared. I apparently missed it because I didn't watch. He was on Tony Sanders' The Hunt on Friday night. So if you want more Jeffrey, if you missed more Jeffrey, he had a great cameo apparently on the Tony Sanders channel.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
So I'm going to need to go and find that and dig up that little piece of
Jeffrey's like,
He's like, not really need that. So we're looking for the two.
They still haven't answered?
I see one correct answer, and then I see some funny ones.
Some very funny ones. Women with guns and Jeeps.
Journey says metal and Ben Gay.
Metal and Alka-Seltzer, and we've got metal and Ben Gay. Very excited. But the correct answer starts.
Put that on Proteus.
Yeah, right. Metal and new host bodies he needs to feed.
Man, I thought Roy Kirk
put some Ben Gay on you.
Everybody needs a little.
We're gonna rub you down.
And Jackson Roy Kirk with the 1 point and the second correct answer. And Icy Rub. There it is. You got it. We got Chett. It's all happening now.
That's what he said. Let us rub you down. I'm sorry. My eyes are in tears.
Too good. So, like I mentioned before, this show goes from channel to channel. If it's first time watching, we try to make this fun for even people that have never read these issues. We kind of break it down, give you the good stuff and then the key details and have a little good time with our guests. Next week, we are back on Justin's channel, finishing up this story arc with issue 128. So make sure you are subscribed and that you're over there next week when we do the next issue. Our guest next time is Morbius, who does not get enough KnowGood Comics in his life, but apparently needs another hour with this guy.
Gonna have a back-to-back. Yep, 2 hour premiere with me.
Right.
That will be on my channel. So
I ain't rubbing nothing, Bob.
Yeah.
There you go. Jackson Roy Kirk, what is up? Good to see you, my man.
What's up, Jeff?
So, running around the table, obviously, I just mentioned where you could see Jeffrey, which was on Friday night on the Tony Sanders channel. Jeffrey, we need to get you to come back again at some point when we get into volume 2. You've got issue 145. I'm just going to tell you, plant the seed for 145.
All right. Good.
Awesome. And if you guys aren't following Chett over on Instagram, you're missing one of the all-time great collections. If you're a signed comics fan, I don't know what you're doing wrong, but this is one way to fix it. You go and subscribe to ChettEyeKnight over on Instagram because you're going to see an incredible set of slab signed comics. Golden labels for days.
Thank you, John.
And I'm sorry that your 9.8 did not come in today, but you've got a 9.8 of this particular book coming in and some signatures on that, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I sent you guys the pictures. I think it's Shooter, Stan, and Claremont.
And Chris.
Yeah. Man, oh man.
I don't even know. I could buy it, and I don't even remember which. I know it's 3.
Yikes.
Amazing.
And at one point, I thought I bought a 9.6, and then I found out, no, it's a 9.8. So I was like,
yikes. Let's, here we go.
Nice accident.
Right.
Yeah.
There she is. I'm sorry, it's a little tiny. Let me see if I can. Does that get any better?
Yeah. Is it 2
times
or 3 times? I see Stan, Claremont. I can't see the bottom, so
it says signed by Stan, Claremont, and that's it. Just those 2.
Okay. So yeah, that's good enough, I guess. Then.
Yikes. Yeah, good enough. It's good enough. It'll work. I mean, it'll tide you over. So, Chett, anything else coming up that you want to let people know about? Any place else they can catch you besides Instagram?
You catch me on Instagram. That's basically it. Most of my stuff is there. I've got a Facebook page, but I don't do any comic book stuff on there.
Nice.
And I barely touch it. So Instagram is the place. I post my books. Every now and then I'll post a picture of myself. You know, I guess it takes me about a year to post a picture of myself. You know, I'm just not too fond of the way I look. I've got mental. I'm kidding, but
I would be pretty pumped. I would be showing a lot more if I was in the same shape. But I respect it. I understand.
Thank you. But yeah,
put the comics first. I understand.
I'm with the League of Collectors with my buddy Comics Kings and a few other guys. We're always posting good stuff, new stuff, vintage stuff, and it's starting to grow. So if you're interested in a good comic book group, look up the League of Collectors. You'll find me there, and it'd be fun to have anybody else who wants to get in.
Hell yeah.
And of course, Justin has all kinds of content dropping. He's had 2 other things for today, I think, before this, right?
Yeah, today just one thing. I was gonna do a morning video, but I didn't. I kept it to just the 2 today.
So lazy.
You know, I actually have to record something after this, bro. So I have to pre-record. Yeah. We got our tag team Thursday coming up, and then Saturday, like I said in the beginning, I'll be with Jennifer from Comics Will Break Your Heart. She'll be my guest on Comic Collector Origins, so get to hear a little bit about her origin story and her background. So if you guys have never checked out the show before, definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun, all about the community and just learning a little bit more about the community. So, and Jennifer's awesome. So really looking forward to that. So it's 2:00 Eastern time. And then I'm actually going to be on Kevin Superpower Reviews channel for a similar show to what we did before, John, me, you, and Rod, for the What's That Book? So I'll be on his channel Saturday evening, like 7:00 Eastern time. I think we're going to be with Asian Funk and Alonzo from Team Nerd Herd. So it'll be good. I was
just going to say the same thing, man. Justin, you're real with your content.
Appreciate that, brother.
It's a lot of fun seeing you do all that stuff, man. It's very creative and it's riveting stuff. Good shit.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that, dude. I appreciate it. I'll be bringing some more fun reels, over the weekend, probably something good.
And I bought you a Met hat, by the way, in case I just need an address.
Oh, thanks. So kind of you. I appreciate that. Me and those Mets. I love those Mets.
I know that. Tell me no more.
Oh, something happened to Justin's camera. I don't know. He must have fallen out. I don't know. It's just hopefully gets his camera working. I don't know what's going on with.
Wow, I mentioned the Mets and he disappeared.
The hype button. Oh my
if all that is that what it takes for him to disappear? Mention the Mets. He's like, ooh.
Yeah. That's how I
mentioned the Angels. I'll keep you on here all day, but want to talk Mike Trout? I'm happy to just sit here and listen. As for me, I've got tonight, and then I'm going to be doing a live version of my comic community news show on Thursday. Have not had time to shoot and edit this week, and I didn't want to skip another week, but I'm going to try to do it live for the first time ever. We're going to do it live. We're going to do it live. So hang out in the chat. I'm going to close out the closer on Thursday night. Whenever Justin finishes, I'm very flexible. We're just going to roll right into the next show, and you guys can see me fumble through trying to do what I edit in a live format. It should be a lot of fun. So
I plan to go 5 hours. So
okay, so 2 a.m. East Coast. No,
yeah.
So it'll be in the 8 East Coast range somewhere. But that's probably when I'll set up the stream. But I'll just roll whenever he's done on Tag Team Thursday. You just follow through Justin, and then I'll be closing it out for us.
Yep.
Other than that, everybody have a great, great week. Hopefully you got everything you want tomorrow for your new comic book day. Huge thank you to Chett and Jeffrey KOMIKHAN Henson.
Oh, hey.
Bam, bam, bam.
It's just awesome hanging with you, Jeff. And I hope things are going well for you, man. And hope to do this again soon.
Yeah. 145. 145.
Be ready. It'll be here before you know it.
We got you ready.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
That's when he's got Storm on the cover. He's got the cup in one hand and her in the other.
Yeah, there's a trend to all my X-Men issues I own.
Storm is in distress.
Yeah.
Well, on the cover. On the cover.
All right, gang. So we are heading out. See you next week on Justin's channel. Peace.
Later.